Hello everyone! Welcome back to Ninja Gaiden. The part in the game where stuff starts getting really hard, especially if you're trying to do a speedrun. This part isn't so bad if you're playing normally. Got some bottomless pits and cheap shots, but like, say, that bone-throwing Hammer Bros. That guy is insanely technical during a speedrun. And I will be showing you why when we get to that. Oh, and a lot of hawks over bottomless pits. That's, yeah.
Where are we? In the dungeon?
Yep. Well, the Jakia wished us a nice, dropped us down here as a show of his hospitality.
Oh. Wait, so he captured us?
No. He just dropped us in a bottomless pit, that's all.
Oh.
This part here, this screen sucks if you try and stand and fight. Like, I had an occasion while recording where I, had two hawks, one of those gremlin guys, and that Hammer Bros on the screen at the same time. So oftentimes you'll want to just damage boost up like I did there. Because otherwise trying to get rid of all those enemies while across the chasms is just, you're never gonna take them in a straight fight if that happens.
By the way, can we talk about how there are hawks in a dungeon?
Yeah?
Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how are there hawks in a dungeon?
Magic?
Perhaps.
I mean, this is the Great Demon King we're talking. Oh, that's another nice trick you can do with hawks. It doesn't look like you should be able to dodge them just by ducking, but you often can. Cause the top of Ryu's head is sort of transparent or something.
Really?
That's the way it seems.
Strange.
Oh, here's another damage boosting opportunity. Believe me, that is a lot easier than just doing it the normal way.
Yeah, that looked like it would be very difficult if you didn't do that.
Yeah. And there's the screen scrolling tactic I sometimes use. Always remember that with the hawks. And here is one of the trickiest parts in the whole game. There really isn't a good way for me to guide you through this without death, so you just kind of have to have really good timing. The only thing I'll suggest is keep to the left side of this jump. If you go to the right, that hawk will spawn, and also add an additional difficulty. That there can also be a cheap shot.
Alright, Future Theo here. I'm about to show you a much easier way of getting through that passage. Just jump up a bit, let the bird hit you, and then, yeah, just jump right over the boundary. No problem at all. Now, let's get back to the main episode.
I guess this is one of those occasions where it looks easy until you go try it out yourself.
Yeah. Because he drops fairly quickly. So oftentimes when I was practicing, I would try to drop down, and he just dropped straight through, past the walls by the time I hit left. Maybe I'm just slow, but yeah, I've died there a few times.
How many times did you die?
I think 3 to 4?
That's not that many.
Also, here's one of the more obnoxious enemies. Look how they spam the screen.
That looks terrible. I'm hoping that's the last time we see them.
No, it is not.
It's unfortunate.
You really have to start knowing when to stand up and fight, and when to just damage boost and run past things at this point. Because this is where the enemy spam really starts. It really starts.
There's so many sprites on screen that the NES can handle it. It just starts to flicker.
Yeah. And this is also why sword canceling and conserving your ninpo is really important, because that spinning buzzsaw, man, it is really helpful during this part. Also, some more cheap shots if you don't know they're coming.
So why are you pause buffering in this case?
Because I want to carefully time my jump.
Right.
Future Theo here once again. Had to edit out the tail end of this conversation, and now I have to fill this with filler. Oh wait, I just did. Cool. Alright, so anyways, like I said, the spinning buzzsaw is really helpful for these next couple of screens. So much so that I think you need to know what to do without it. So first, get to the very edge of this, and you'll have just enough to get that guy. Then you jump over, get to the very edge of this one, jump over, cling the wall, and the panther will go right through you. And stick to that, scroll the hawk, then damage boost, there we go. And now for the clever part. Instead of doing this really precise timing, we damage boost by having the right side of that running guy hit us. Then we go left and slash the guy, and that'll get you over the platforms nice and safe. That way they can't shoot you into the abyss, you know? So there you go. Hope this helps for anyone who manages to die around here and don't want to start over. I mean, I know this is no deaths, but still, gotta look out for everyone.
Now that guy, he may also count as a cheap shot, but then I don't know why you'd turn around after getting that far. So like there, that one is a cheap shot, which is why I pause buffered, because he can like knock you into the pit since your first instinct is to try and collect that candle, and then he just appears.
Yeah, like as a new player, how would you be able to tell that, like, he's there, like there's no indication, you just fall?
Though to be fair, you also respawn. Like the game checkpoints you every time you get to a new screen, so it's not too bad.
True.
Compared to other NES games.
So who is this that we're talking to?
You remember the orange ninja and the gray ninja that dueled in the beginning?
Yeah.
I think the orange ninja was Ryu's father, and this is the guy that beat him. Now he's wearing an entirely different outfit.
It's pretty quick.
I'd like to say he's harder in the if you beat him regularly, but he really isn't. The game refills your health after... Oh, I've got to talk about this. See? See how I hold in that position for just a little bit? Then after that, that causes the guy on the pillar to kind of sink through it. And then I damage boost through him. That is one of the most insane tricks in the game. And I don't think I ever would have guessed how to do it had I not watched that tutorial. Like, you just get to an exact spot, you hang there for a few frames, also here for a few frames, and that'll cause the hawk up ahead to spawn in the exact right elevation to where you can jump over him and then damage boost him up to there. Like, these two things are so technical. I don't think I ever would have guessed them on my own. Especially the guy on the pillar, because like, if you're a little bit left, he walks off the pillar. If you're a little bit right, he won't fall through the pillar. Like, it is just, I think this is actually harder than Act 6 in terms of just speedrun techs.
Well, to me, it just seems like almost entirely luck-based, to be honest. Like, it doesn't seem like you would be able to pull that off. Like, maybe it's just TAS would be able to pull that off.
Well, you pull it off with a lot of practice, and I do mean a lot of practice.
So you can do it reliably. You can do it reliably with time.
Yeah. Not on your first time, though.
Of course
In
not.
fact, the things... Yes, Gaizo?
Of course not. I meant, like, with a lot of practice.
Yeah. And you know, that was one of the hardest things to consider when first coming up with the idea to make a walkthrough of this. Like there's really no way that I can just tell you, like, press all the right buttons at all the right times, because so much of that is based on reflex and practice. And if I just tell you basically get good, it's like, what's the point of a walkthrough? So, like, I try to intentionally use a lot of noob strats, pause buffering, check all the candles I can unless there's too many dangerous enemies. Basically showing you how you should play the game if you're a newbie. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because, like, I can close the gap a little bit, but... like, I want to close the gap as much as possible. Also, this guy's easy. Just run up and slash him.
Not sure if you know this, or if there is some lore to it, but why is he a demon? Like, it was normal, wasn't it?
He's just wearing a mask.
Oh.
Although, the weird thing is, he was in a silver ninja outfit just like Ryu and Ken in the intro cinematic, and now he's switched to, like, this mask thing and a shirt that, like, shows off his chest. I'm not really sure why he switched outfits.
So he can look more menacing.
I guess. Also, it turns out our Ken is not dead.
Oh.
I wonder what that means. We can see him again, but it will be the last thing we see.
Interesting. I wonder how much more lore there is to this game, this series.
Alright, let's talk about Act 6. This is where the infamy really starts with the game. Like, in some ways, like, when people talk about how hard Ninja Gaiden is, what they're really talking about is how hard Act 6 is. Now, this part isn't so bad, it's just a bunch of enemy spam, but there's no bottomless pits. Like, the enemies are fairly static, and they appear really quickly, but they're not so bad. It's Act 6 2 where it really amps up.
So this is like Blight Town from Dark Souls, but for this game.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's some nonsense that I'm gonna cover in the next vid, because after we get to the final boss gauntlet, there's gonna be a lot to unpack. So the end of this video is just gonna be Act 6 itself, not the bosses after.
Something I'm noticing is that the best way to play this game is to just, like, scroll the screen a little bit and then back up to, like, get to spawn everything, and then you just kill things one by one.
Yeah, and that's so you know they're... Also, you can scroll that guy out of existence. You can't do that often, but that'll be handy in a few spots in 6-2.
Imagine being scrolled out of existence.
Also, that part of the screen just sucks. Like, there's no way around that other than memorization, I think. Also, step over that crack there, otherwise if you try to climb that wall, you'll just get stuck. And, just let yourself drop into that pit while holding left, rather than trying to jump over it. The hawk that spawns will just damage boost you over the gap, so no skill needed.
Fair enough.
Also, here's the screen that really sucks. Like, this one sucks. It sucks so bad.
Would this be, like, the worst screen in the game?
Yeah. Did you see that?
How many times did you die to that, I wonder, before we started this?
Well, I played this game a lot as a kid, so as an adult making this Let's Play, I kinda knew it was coming. So not that much, but when I was first learning, I was just like, how in the heck do I do this screen?
You could probably, like, essentially just do the same thing that you do for everything else. Like, you just scroll the screen a little bit, and then you eliminate the enemy, and you continue.
On those tiny platforms?
It's gonna be a little more difficult, yeah.
Well, I mean, you can kind of do that for the Hammer Brothers at the very end, but not for the rest of the enemies. And if you kill them, they just respawn immediately.
Really? Damn, that's terrible.
Yeah, if you're standing in place.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that is like one of the two sections I think that you really just can't do without memorization. Not without dying.
I like the design of this level. It's pretty cool. You have the eyes on the walls.
Yeah. And actually, this also showcases one of my favorite tricks coming up. One that I believe will make this game a lot easier, even for its greatest detractors.
What is it?
You'll see. Suffice it to say, our health will be completely full, no matter what.
Okay. Oh, what the hell? Why is that guy just stuck on the ceiling? Did you see that?
We got the hourglass.
Oh. Really? Okay.
Yep. Like, anytime you get one of those, you just want to run forward as far as you can, because, just skip all the enemies spawn entirely.
That didn't seem like a very good use of the hourglass, though. Like, it was just one enemy.
A lot more spawns.
Oh, okay, so they were just invisible.
No, they weren't invisible, they just don't spawn if the hourglass is in effect.
Oh, okay.
Also, did you notice how I collected that potion twice?
Yeah, that was a little bit strange.
Yeah, if you leave that screen and then come back, you can get the potion multiple times, so you should always come into the final bosses at full health.
That's handy.
Also, this screen, I think it's actually a little easier than Act 5 in terms of just speedrunning, because this one is more about how good your reflexes are and how good your rhythm is. Aside from stuff like this swag star here, which is just always difficult to get working. But aside from that, I don't think it's that much harder than it is normally.
Can we talk about the enemy design of, like, the future ninja with, like, the backpack with the flame? Like, that is so strange.
Absolutely. Oh! One thing I forgot to mention while we were doing the Act 5 thing real quick. Act 5 also has a lot of sword canceling, if you notice. Cause, like, there are times where, like, I'm up in the air, but then I gotta, like, hold down and then slash, and do it normally rather than a spinning slash. That way I have enough ninpo for other screens. That's one of the other things that makes it so tough. Whereas this one is also much more forgiving when it comes to that.
It's a little difficult to notice that you're doing a cancel. Like, I can really tell just from looking at it. You have to tell me that you're doing it.
Exactly. Also, this screen here, burn up your ninpo. If you don't get that guy with a regular slash, you'll have to stop and do a canceled slash, because otherwise if you do a spinning buzzsaw, you'll also clip that bird, and then that bird won't be available to damage boost you. And then this spot here, you can basically just run past the enemy. Anyways, that's the end, and I look forward to seeing you all during the final boss gauntlet.
It was relatively short. See you, YouTube.
Bye!